Thousands of taxi commuters in Gauteng are without transport this morning as taxi operators push ahead with their shutdown. Drivers affiliated to the South African National Taxi Council in Gauteng are heeding the call to withhold services today. They're protesting government's relief package announced by Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula on Friday. In Soweto earlier this morning, passengers were pulled out of buses and buses turned back by angry taxi drivers. Army reinforcements also had to be called in. Now let's cross live to our reporter, Criselda Lewis. Criselda, what's the latest? What can you tell us?
Well, that's right, Desiree. The army reinforcement that you spoke about looks like it's just about to leave the Bara taxi rank that was deployed here since very early this morning. We've been here since 5 o'clock. The South African National Defence Force members have been stationed here since then, accompanied by members of the Johannesburg Metro Police Department, also trying to ensure that scenes that took place where my colleague Thabiso Sithole was at one of the taxi ranks here in Soweto does not take place at other taxi ranks. Here at the Bara taxi rank, usually one of the busiest this morning, you saw scenes of people standing towards my left-hand side here, basically hiking and asking private vehicles to give them lifts to go to their various destinations. So there were hundreds, if not thousands, of individuals who were stranded this morning wanting to get to work, but obviously there'd be no plan. And this as the taxi associations maintain that they're going to continue with their action unless government moves from the figure that it had put on the table. Remember, that was announced on Friday by the Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula. And immediately after then, Santaco, together with the top 6 taxi association, indicated that they were not satisfied with that. This would subsequently mean, Desiree, with an amount of 5,000 rand per taxi is what the transport minister or government is offering the taxi industry. But you'd recall, since we've been covering the story, they indicated that they wanted between 15 and 20,000 rand per taxi. So government says that's not going to happen. It's not possible. They won't be able to afford that amount of money. So the taxi industry says it was quite necessary for it to embark on this action. And of course, all of that then now means you would have quite a number of people stranded. We spoke to them throughout this morning. Now here behind me, majority of those who had been hassling to get to work have either found alternative transport by either hiking or even deciding to walk to other areas where perhaps they'll be able to get a lift as well. But in addition to that, some of the taxi associations that we spoke to had indicated, that they were not happy with the manner in which government had negotiated with the taxi industry. Let's take a listen to one of them who expressed his concerns about how government has handled this matter.
The pressure from our members, given the plight and the problems and the environmental constraints experienced by the taxi industry. As you will know, the taxi industry has gotten no support, no subsidy, and during the COVID-19, the experiences by our members are such that they are so unbearable that we've had no option, because we represent a constituency of taxi owners. So we had no option but to, of course, observe what they felt is a note that government will read into. Because the plight is so big. Our members' vehicles are being repossessed, no income, drivers are losing their jobs. We're part of the economy, as you will know. For example, in Greater Johannesburg, we transport, we move more than 65% of your commuting and working population, people that are economically active, etc. So we felt that our members feel that the 3,500 per member, irrespective of how many vehicles they operate or owe to the banks and the financial institutions or financing houses, is really a slap in the face.
And Desiree, that's the crux of the matter. What these taxi associations say is what government needs to comply to. In addition to that, you'd recall yesterday that the Transport Minister had also indicated on the 100% passenger capacity in these taxis. The Minister said he was not against that. However, what he would need to do, given that the taxi associations are indicating that they want to go back to loading 100% passengers in the taxis, the Transport Minister said he would take that to the National Coronavirus Council and basically put it to them. But any decision pertaining to whether the taxi industry will move now from 70% loading capacity to 100%, those are decisions that also need to be taken in conjunction with those in the know. This would be your health practitioners. So remember, government throughout this entire pandemic has not taken decisions on its own, but also those in the know in terms of what the health implications would be if the taxi industry reverted back to 100%. So certainly at this point, it remains to be seen, how all of this will unfold. The associations say they are willing to go around the negotiating table once again. They want more money, but government says there is no more money. So it's a stalemate at this stage, which is certainly affecting commuters, and we're expecting late this afternoon those who managed to get through to work are going to struggle once again to try and get back home by either hiking or getting on lift clubs or trying to find other alternative arrangements in order to make it back home this evening.
Thank you so much for that update, Criselda. Of course, we're going all around.